a war on people. FBI got a file on me. Too many teachers in the land that are free. Join the show as we make our plea. Set all drug offenders free. FBI got a file on you. Think they don't, but they goddamn do. All CNI is watching you. Everything you say and everything you do. FBI got a file on me. Another red man in a stolen country. And I don't give a fuck about the USA.
Here at HHS, we're excited to work with Elmo from Sesame Street to help kids protect themselves and do their best to keep germs away. When it comes to germs, the only thing we want to spread are good habits. And here's Elmo spreading some of those good habits.
It's time to practice staying healthy on Sesame Street.
That's right. Now, in order to stay healthy, always wash your hands.
Come on, practice washing your hands with Elmo. Wash, 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 wash.
Keep washing, and you'll stay healthy.
There are religions that are as rigid as the shaft of a lance. They demand blind, unquestioning compliance. They spread their hierarchy to all fields of human action. These religions resist change of any sort. They were laid down by men who wanted to make sure that those who followed would forever remain in a spiritual prison.
On page 380 of the autobiography of Malcolm X, as told to Alex Haley, Mr. X warns us that it is the Jew that is encouraging racism amongst the white populace. Do his observations hold up to scrutiny? Let's turn our attention to the television. Racism in cinema is something many of us would all like to forget. Certainly in the 21st century, many would think that it has almost entirely disappeared. This is not the case. And to anyone who is non-white, it's easy to tell that racism has merely taken a different form. But who is responsible for this content? Until you realize that your average white person is separate from the white-skinned Jews, it is difficult for many non-white people to see who's pulling the strings. The people calling themselves Jews do not consider themselves mere white people, so I gently suggest that we don't consider them white folks either, but a different creature altogether. So it isn't whites who control Hollywood and the TV networks, but Jews. So when television is bombarding us with so many images of white people, and therefore giving us the impression that being white is the only way to beauty.
Hey, I'd really like to spend a little time alone with you. How about I take you someplace special this afternoon?
Okay.
When black women start taking on Caucasoid features, when Chinese women get their eyes mutilated to look more white.
Today we've been talking about shades of race, and it doesn't just affect the way others look at us, but it affects how we look at ourselves. This is Liz. Liz is a Korean American who recently underwent a surgical procedure to alter her eyes. So Liz, what exactly did you have done?
I had eyelid surgery to increase the size of the fold.
The size of the fold. So this fold here?
Yeah.
And the kids used to tease you?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I was like the black sheep. I was, you know, the only Asian girl. So you'd hear the, you know, the so cliche, but, you know, chink, you know, Chinese eyes, you know. At that age, I didn't know.
So you look in the mirror and think what when you look in the mirror?
I knew that I looked very different from everybody else. I knew that, you know, from what I knew to be beautiful or pretty,
that wasn't what you saw in the mirror.
That was not, yeah, that's not equal what I saw in the mirror.
Keep in mind that your white neighbor isn't the one running the movie studio. It is the Jew. Let's first review the racism of Betty Boop. Racist enough, but who was behind that? That was none other than Max Fleischer, a Jew. Now we'll review another racist cartoon. What you just witnessed is the creation of the Jews Hugh Harman and Rudolf Ising at Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Studios, which, of course, is a Jewish studio. Now let's bring this up to present day. Let's take a look at a character from the so-called comedy called Role Models. Here we see a young black character acting like a stereotyped, typical piece of trash.
All right, Ronnie, that's enough. This bitch trying to grab my joint. Language, Ronnie. My language is English. And this motherfucker tried to grab my hang down.
Have my own hang down to touch, kid.
I'm guessing with a handful of my balls.
Oh, that's racist.
What you've seen is the present-day racism of Betty Boop, in live action and full color. You see, most of what we see in black characters and many versions of rap music, and not all rap is bad, but bear with me, most of what you see exists to create a self-fulfilling prophecy. Black people, especially children and young adults, will view this kind of material in one form or another and are given a conscious as well as unconscious cue that says, this is what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be a clown, a buffoon, an ignorant fool, a nigger. When you look at the majority of white characters, they aren't taken from poor, trashy white neighborhoods. They are shining examples of eloquence, good manners, and finely dressed to boot.
Oh, come on, Will. Just take off your shirt and tell us.
Even with white characters that act stupid, there are so many posh white characters to counterbalance that stupidity, poor English, and buffoonery aren't associated with white people. So, who created this trash? Well, that would be none other than David Wayne. And who is David Wayne? He's a Jew. Matter of fact, our first clue, other than the credits, that the film is Jewish filth, comes by way of seeing so many Jewish actors in the movie, but also in a scene in which probably one of the most talentless bands, that would be Kiss, is spoken of fondly. The scene even mentions the Jewishness of Kiss.
What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, right?
Sounds like fuck living in the shithole. What are these clowns?
Kiss? You don't know who Kiss is?
No, never heard of them. They look like idiots to me.
No, dude. These are four of the smartest guys who ever lived. They're these Jewish guys who grew up in New York. And they put on guitars and makeup to get girls, and all their songs are about fucking.
I'm listening.
Seriously, this song is called Love Gun, and it's about Paul Stanley's dick. How this girl's gonna get some of his dick.
Cool. I don't know who's gonna sing like that.
Now let's hear from the Jewish Gene Simmons of Kiss. Let's just see what he thinks of non-Jewish people.
Looks like a mess in here. What the hell is all this?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
That's what Gentiles are for. You hire them to work on your car.
Oh yes, Gentiles. That means non-Jewish people are there to serve the Jew. We're here to do the dirty work. And with an oil pipeline going to the Jewish state of Israel, we're there to fight and die in their wars as well. Let's listen to a little bit more of Gene Simmons in an interview.
Gene Simmons, welcome to Fresh Air.
Thank you.
Let's start with the makeup. Did you like being covered up on stage? Did it make you feel any less vulnerable or any less like Gene Simmons or your other names, Gene Klein or Chaim White, which was your birth name?
Close but no guitars. It's Chaim Witz.
Oh, thanks. Okay.
You said it, well, the name came out through Gentile mouth, so it didn't quite have the flavor. It came out bland.
Well, it's not a Gentile mouth.
Ooh. Maybe it's a discussion we can have.
Yeah, okay.
But let's not start something we're not going to finish.
Right.
You'll note that Mr. Simmons at first thinks that the interviewer is a non-Jewish lady, which he immediately associates with ignorance, stupidity, and lack of grace. So there you have it. Now you know who controls the television. And I defy anyone to look up the CEOs of the TV networks and movie studios and prove me wrong. To my black brothers, my white brothers, my Latino and Arab brothers, You are being divided, and as you are divided, so shall you be conquered.